Good morning, I'm Sharaad Kuttan and welcome to BFM's Morning Headlines. It is the 25th of August. Some mornings I'm so eager to read the newspapers, I look like this gentleman. There he is, looking really eager to dig into the morning's newspapers. And actually there is quite a bit of substance in today's papers. The Malay Mail has a very innocuous front page. So that says, new law proposed to weed out rotten civil servants. It's one of those things, the memo, government says it's going to do this, or it's a recommend. In this case, it's actually a recommendation. It's not really a news story. It's a very interesting case of a senior Kedah civil servant who allegedly awarded contracts without reference to his high-up. So he had, in this case, violated some local laws pertaining to the conduct of civil servants. He has since been elevated. Now, despite the media coverage of this, he seems to have gotten scot-free. Now, the question is, why so? And the proposed laws are precisely about making sure that ministries and governments do what they ought to do when exposures happen. So there is a claim that there's reluctance, there's refusal to take disciplinary action. That's what the story is about. I would read it. Very interesting. A piece by Widodo. And other stories in the papers today include coverage of the President-elect of Indonesia, Joko Widodo, otherwise known as Jokowi. So you have the Sinar Herion and the Star both have this story. They both have a special interview with this president-elect. Both the papers take slightly different tacks on this, but because they're standard discussions of his love of heavy metal, his humble beginnings, the fact that he's tasked now with, well, the unenviable task of both reforming the system, but also supplying protection for those both in business and just ordinary Indonesians who need some protection from the forces of globalization. So that's the big stories in Sinar Herion and the Star. Though Sinar Herion's front page story is really the ongoing saga of Selangor Menteri Besar, and this is a piece with Anwar Ibrahim, the head of the Pakatan Rakyat, who's saying that he has no problems with the man himself. It's just that he, Khalid, did not respond and engage with his own party. Now, Peter Herion has that story in Selangor there, right-hand corner, and it's about Khalid meeting with the Sultan. He's lost the confidence of the assembly. What happens next? Are we looking at the dissolution of the assembly, or we're looking at the Sultan acceding to the person who apparently has the support of the assembly? 30 assembly people have come behind Wan Aziza, the state assembly person for Kajang. Of course, all through the papers, return of the remains of the victims of the downing of MH17. So there you have it. You have many papers, including Harian Metro here. Utusan Malaysia, of course, plays up the Selangor issue from this angle. Tensions between PAS and PKR, and they're saying perbalahan makin ketara, conflict intensifies. With MH17, you have this story about the return of 3 more victims, and the remains of rather, and that's going to happen on Saturday this weekend. Again, MH17 on the top, but the real story here is on the goods and services tax and subsidy rationalization. This is much as a news story than a kind of advertorial for government. So there you have it. But could I leave you without a word of the day? And the word of the day is friend. Why friend? Because Anwar still friend Khalid, and we look to a friend in Jokowi. The main newspapers and their concerns this morning, Monday the 25th, the start of your week, as we see August running out of time. We're going to be entering September very soon. Of course, this coming weekend is the Merdeka weekend, so I hope you enjoy that. I'll see you next week. I'm Sharaad Kuttan, BFM's Morning Headlines, brought to you on BFM 89.9.